Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunchtime Live with Lady Doctor, aka The Healing Truth. We are getting ready to transition to our new platform, our new dates, and our new times. And I want to say welcome, good afternoon to all of you that have joined us today. I'm going to take off the ticker. Amen. And we're going to move forward. So I want to say hi. I want to say hi to my girl Jasmine. Good afternoon, streaming from YouTube. I love you, Jasmine, and thank you for all of your kind words and your support. It is everything to me. Thank you. Sylvia, looks like you might be new. I haven't seen you on before, but if I missed you, I apologize. Glad to have you, Sylvia. Of course, Elder Rose Hayes is with us. I love you, Rose. Glad to see you. Thank God we're together again. Gail Fennell Burns, good to see you, darling. Good afternoon, Roslyn. Good afternoon. Those of you that are tuning in now, please share this. Please share this if you can, if you don't mind. Just hop off right now, or if you can share from where you are, please share this. Today's a very exciting topic that we're going to introduce and open up, and I believe it's going to be a wonderful time of impartation. And you want to share this with your friends and your family. Before we go into today's subject, while you're sharing, while you're inviting people to our live, I want to make some announcements. I'm going to try to put them on the screen so that everyone can see it, and I want to make sure that everyone hears me well. You guys can hear. If you have any problem hearing me, please let me know. Today's topic is going to be discussed in just a few moments, but I want to make this announcement. It's very important. Some of you thought that Lunchtime Live was over last week, but our flyer actually says that we will be transitioning to another date and time. And I'm going to definitely put it on the screen for you guys so that you can see it in just a moment. Let me just get it here. And let me just see if I can't pull them all in. So you guys are sharing, you're inviting people. I hope that you're getting some of your girls on and some of the people that you love. Um, I have a piece of a flyer here that might work. We'll see. Because it's coming in little bits and pieces, but we'll see. Okay, so take a look at this really quickly. Um, Okay, that was a mess. It's just too small. But at any rate, the Lunchtime Live will end on August, the last Monday, the first Monday in August. Am I saying August? October. You guys stay with me. I'm getting it together. I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time as usual. So let me get the right date. October 5th will be the last time we meet at lunchtime. Lunchtime Live has been a blessing to us, and we've been making it through. It's been over a year. September marked a year that we were meeting for Lunchtime Live. I don't think we missed very many Lunchtime Lives. However, many of the people who are a part of the Healing Truth Women's Ministry have told me that they cannot meet at 1 p.m. 1 o'clock is difficult for them on a Monday. So we're going to try to move it to an evening time after you have served your dinner, hopefully, and have gotten into the chair to relax, perhaps you can meet with me for the Healing Truth at 9 p.m. on Wednesday evenings. Of course, I'm going to put out notification after notification to remind everyone when we are transitioning. So we will be here every Monday until October 5th. So get that straight. We're going to still be here at 1 o'clock until October 5th. We want to give people time to transition. I know it seemed like a blunt cut. Everybody was like, I'm looking for you on Wednesday. And it wasn't like that. So we're going to move to Wednesdays on October 7th, but we will meet here for the final time on October 5th. So thank you guys for that. Today's topic, I'm going to try to So I'm back. Today's topic is the law of love. We're going to talk about love today. We're going to talk about love and relationships. We're going to talk about affection. We want to talk about all those good things that we sometimes do not get to talk about. Some of you are live, but I can't see you on my screen. We do have about 40 people on now, and I really wish that you could share it as much as you can so that everyone can um, take a look and join us. An ownership link was added to your video by, okay, I don't know what's going on with that. All right, we're going to turn it down. All right. Okay, let me try to see what's going on in this chat here. Can't believe what? Okay, what can't you believe? All right. Hey, everyone. All right. I'm trying to see everyone from all the different spaces that we're on. But today is a good day. We're going to talk about love. Everybody wants to be in love. Everybody wants to be in love. Everybody wants to have. I believe that everybody. Um, right. I didn't talk while the picture was up because I know you can't hear when the picture is up. So, I just kind of posted it. So reading is fundamental. You guys had to read it. But at any rate, it's a funny little system here that some things, when the background is up, you can't hear the voices. So I didn't say anything. At any rate, thank you, Chelsea. Those of you that are watching, I want to talk about love today. I want to talk about, hey, Minister White. Hey, Netta May. Good to see you, Tia. Nefertia, Ariel, I love you. Lisa Oliver, hello. Lisa Stewart, Hassan, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Glad you're on. Sharon Brooks, Kalima, Rosalind. Hey, Faith, love you. Good to hear. See, everyone can hear me now, right? I know once I'm showing a picture, you can't hear, but everyone can hear me now. I want to make sure you can hear me now because we're getting ready to do some stuff today. We're getting ready to get into some stuff today, something that we can all relate to, and not just women. I know we have some guys on. I want you. Hey, Veronica, Elder Veronica, good to see you. Listen, some of the guys are shying away from us because we're saying healing truth, women's ministry. But when I'm live for everyone, even though I'm one-sided. It's usually mostly to women, but at any rate, it will help everyone. So today we're going to introduce this topic to you called the law of love, the law of love. And so, as you know, when I write notes, I write notes. So if I can show you, this is just one page of notes for this subject. And my notes are exhaustive, and I try to put as much of as in it as I can. So what happens with those notes, they become booklets, they become devotionals, they become daily reads. And so I don't waste anything. I make sure that this goes further than my mouth to your ears. So since you're on today, everyone who sows a seed, now my Cash App closed all my Cash Apps. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. They closed all my Cash Apps. So if you're going to sow today, you can sow to Zelle or Apple Pay. Um, I don't know. I guess it's the enemy trying to work against Healing Truth. I don't know what it is, but all of the Cash Apps have been closed. But I do have Zelle, and I do have Apple Pay, and I do have PayPal. You can probably find me wherever money is being collected. I'm going to work on this Venmo situation and see if I can get that done. At any rate, anyone who sows a seed today, guess what? You're going to get the ebook, The Law of Love. And law stands for love, affection, and wholeness. So we want to delve into that. We are not going to definitely be able to cover all of that today. As you can see, only one page and there's no spaces. We're going to talk a little bit today. What this Law of Love series will do is it will dispel many of the myths that we have heard concerning love and falling in love and affection and those kinds of wholeness questions. There are so many myths out there that we have come to believe over time to be truth. And I am declaring them myths today, even though some of them may rub some of us against the grain because we grew up believing certain things about love. We grew up believing certain things about relationships and affection and what love really is. And some of us have been confused in love. Some of us have been hurt in love. Some of us have been distraught in love. And that seems so crazy. So we're going to deal with some of those myths at a one myth at a time. So this looks like a 7-day devotional or a 7-day read concerning dispelling the myths that are surrounded by love and affection. And so I want to tell you what those myths are. You can either write them down or just get your free book, because you sow today, you get the free book. And then that book will be for sale right after I give them away for free. Okay, so myth number one. Myth number one is love doesn't hurt. You've heard it over and over. Love doesn't hurt. Love is not supposed to hurt. Well, that's a myth. Myth number two, love at first sight is possible. That is a myth. We're going to talk about that. Myth number three, certain people are meant to be together. I know a lot of people heard that song. Some people are made for each other, or made for each other, or meant to be together. That's a myth. I know you guys may not like that, but that's a myth. We're going to talk about it. Myth number four is there is no love without romance. That's a myth. Y'all not talking back to me today. Y'all listening? Everybody can hear me? Myth number five, soulmates. Yeah, that's a myth. Okay, myth number six, wholeness is a one-shot deal, a one and done. And that's a myth. Finally, myth number seven is affection can be defined. Affection can be defined. Well, we're not going to be able to go over all of those today. So today we're going to start with love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't hurt. Hey guys, I see you. I see you. I see you, Wanza. Hey Montrese. Hey Barbara. Good to see you, Cheryl. I'm trying to make sure I say hi. Good, good, good. Okay, because on my screen I can see certain comments, and on my phone I can see other comments. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about love doesn't hurt. I know that we have heard it said this can't be love because love doesn't hurt. Love is not supposed to hurt. I'm going to try to read from what I wrote because sometimes I go off on my little tangents. There's a myth that says love doesn't hurt. I can easily dispel that with facts, but I first want to acknowledge the possible truth that makes this myth valid enough to be believed by countless numbers of people. So, what I'm saying here is that it's not just a figment of anybody's imagination. People are not dumb and stupid because they think love doesn't hurt. It is a real situation that happens in people's lives that make them come to that conclusion that love shouldn't hurt. When a person is experiencing abuse in any form by someone he loves or by someone who says he loves him, the easy resolve is that the abuser does not love and that the abused is not loved because love doesn't hurt. I'm going to say that again. When someone is being abused in any form and that abuse is coming from someone who they love or who says they love them, it it makes you believe that the person who's doing the abuse or the person doesn't possibly love this person, or the person who is being abused is not loved by this person. And that's where we probably get that term love doesn't hurt. When taken from that blunt perspective, it's easy to concede that it's a truth and not a myth, but it is a myth. Time, however, gives us all an opportunity to examine the facts around the circumstances. Are y'all still here with me? At which point we may well find patterns of abuse by loved ones in the abuser's past, false allegations of what appears to be abuse but may be an unpreferred reaction, and then it's just deemed as abuse. We may even find evidence of what is called tough love, or love shown in a manner that does not feel comfortable, with a purpose of intended help. So time causes you to start looking at all of the details and the circumstances. Hey, Ma, my mama's on here. Hey, Mama. We may even find mental disorders that create challenges to certain behaviors. The variables are innumerable and range from an addicted mother who gives up her child for his own good to the son who loves but can't forgive his father, from the wife who feels alone in a crowded room to the husband who feels disrespected and unappreciated, all by those who we love and supposedly love us. So, yes, love hurts and the hurt is real. So, what am I saying here? Every situation needs to be examined before we come to any major conclusions. Um, People who grew up in households where there was no male authoritative voice, okay, listen what I'm saying, are not used to the tone of a male authoritative or authoritative voice. So they get in a relationship with a man who, when he gets angry, his tone is foreign. unique because they're not used to having a woman who did not have a father in that house is not used to hearing a male tone. So she can take that in a plethora of ways. She can say, you know, I'm a grown woman. You're not going to scream at me. Uh, you're yelling. You're barking at me. Why are you so angry? Why are you so rough? When in essence, it is a male tone. It is the tone that he takes. Now, stay with me before y'all start saying, yeah, yeah, ain't nobody yelling at me. Be careful. Just give me a chance. Give me a chance. The tone is foreign. So it's left to interpretation. We have to interpret that tone in the way that we interpret tones. And so we may say, this is abusive. This is mean. This is angry. This is bipolar. This is craziness because we're not used to having that kind of tone in our lives. Children, however, who grew up with a father figure in the house, or women and who grew up with a male figure in the house who quote unquote yelled all the time, uh, use that tone all the time, they are more used to that. And it's not that it's always acceptable. It's not nice to yell at people. It's not nice to bark, quote unquote, at people. But our interpretation of what's coming at us tends to cause us to evaluate it our way. There is no explanation. No man is going to come and say, listen, I'm getting ready to say something to you in a tone that you might not be used to because you didn't have a male figure in your house. So I just want to prepare you because my tone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that this is how I sound when I'm angry or when I don't like something or just when I want correction. Nobody does that. We don't get a precursor. We just hear bam, and all of a sudden we're like, who you think you yelling at? Yo, I'm a grown woman. And that's where we go with it sometimes. Not all of us, sometimes me. Okay, so we start to take the tone out of context. And people have a tendency to take things out of context. That's why I tell you that love does hurt sometimes, and the hurt is real. So anybody that can come straight out and say that's not love because love doesn't hurt had never got a beating by their mama. Mama never spanked your behind. That hurt, but that was love. So love does hurt sometimes. Sometimes the truth hurts. And you love people, you tell them the truth. You don't want to hear it. You don't like the way it sounds, but it's truth. And I believe that God allows certain people into our lives, or we allow certain people into our lives who we trust with truth. And when they tell us the truth about ourselves, we don't always like it. We don't always accept it, but truth crushed to the ground will rise again. That's what Martin Luther King said. And once you get truth in your life, you begin to appreciate it, even though it didn't come out the way you would have appreciated, even though it didn't sound as nice as you would have expected it to, or it came out in the heat of rage and an argument and it hurt. But if the hurt caused you to heal, are y'all listening to me? If the hurt caused you to change, if the hurt caused you to mature and caused you to see a part of yourself that you could not see before, then the hurt was healing. And then you find out that it is, in fact, love that hurts. So there are some things in life that cannot be easily thrown away because it was hurtful. And I'm not making excuses for anybody. I'm not making excuses for any person's behaviors. I'm not trying to say that if you're in an abusive relationship, you should stay in it because it's their way of loving you. Please don't get it twisted. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying, however, is that it does not mean that a person doesn't love you. If like I said in that um, paragraph that I read, a mother who is addicted to drugs and sees that she is incapable of raising this child or these children properly because of her addiction. People will say, oh, she loved that drug more than she loves that child. And those are people who don't understand addiction, because addiction is not love. Addiction is what it's called. It is addiction. They have a substance abuse problem. They are addicted to a substance. It's not that they love it. And if I'm not mistaken, I've seen drug addicts. I've known drug addicts. I've seen people on television programs that try to depict the real life of someone who is on drugs. I have a very close friend who tells me stories about her time of addiction. And there were times when they would reach their hand in the hole to get the drugs, and they just hated it. They hate themselves. They hate the addiction. They hate that they have no control over it. But it is controlling them to the point where it appears that they love it more than they love others. And that is not a fair comparison, because you don't love your children because you're addicted to them. You choose to love your children. You choose to love your spouse. You choose to love your job, your family, your church. You choose to love these things. But addiction is different. You do not choose to love it. You choose to try it, and then you get addicted to it, and then it takes over your life in many cases. So people who make blunt statements like she don't love her kids, that's why she just rather love that drug, you got to be really careful. If you don't know what you're talking about, you can't talk about stuff you don't know about. You have to get the facts, at least come to some kind of understanding, and consider yourself. What in the world would make a mother give her child away? It's not the absence of love. It is the addiction that is causing that. The mother loves the child, and when the mother finally gets off the drugs or gets her life together, gets her the Holy Ghost, and gets delivered, she wants her children back. She wants her children to love her. She wants to love her children. All the years that she may have missed raising them, she wants that back. She wants it because she loves her children. Did it hurt the children? Yes. Did it cause the children to have a different opinion of her? Yes. Did the children, sometimes the children just hate the mother because she was addicted for all those years of their lives and they don't know her. But this is I'm getting to my point in this. No, this is a touchy subject. Then I want to talk about some other areas. I want to talk about husbands and wives or relationships, even if you're dating, and um, and it becomes what appears to be abusive. Now, abuse is abuse. Somebody going upside your head, punching you, beating you up for no reason, and they just out of control. You need to get up out of that situation. But I'm talking about situations where a person may have a weakness and they didn't know they had it until they bumped up on you, or you may have a weakness and you didn't know you had it until somebody was, got it, made it come out. And you're like, oh shoot, I didn't even know I could smash somebody in the head with a refrigerator. I didn't even know I had the ability to be, but you brought that out of me. Now we're trying to make excuses for our behavior. by blaming our actions on the actions of another person. But the truth of the matter is, I was angry, or we were frustrated, we were fighting, and I discovered something about myself that I didn't know was there. Does that mean I don't love you? Does that mean you don't love me? Does that mean that we are not in love anymore because we had a heated altercation, maybe a fight? Maybe I did throw the refrigerator at you. Maybe I did look like I wanted to kill you. But that does not define the lack of love. That does not say that I don't love you. That means that I'm out of control. I need to get myself together. I need some prayer. I need a sponsor. I need a therapist, whatever it is, because one thing does not mean the other thing. I know I get in a lot of trouble for stuff like this because people want to just make everything black and white. They want to say, well, if they hit you, they don't love you. If they cheat on you, they don't love you. If they lie to you, they don't love you. They steal your money, they don't love you. I don't know who made all these rules about love. I don't think that love is that liquid that we can just go ahead and make up stuff and tell people when they are loved and when they are not. And sometimes we do that stuff to ourselves. Ladies, I know I got a lot of ladies on here today, and y'all don't throw nothing at me. But just because somebody cheats on you doesn't mean they don't love you. And I have to make that clear because we watch too much Lifetime television. And on Lifetime TV, you cheated on me. You do not love me. You got to get, don't get it mixed up. I'm not telling you to let people cheat on you and let them get away with it and all of that. For all of y'all that's saying, I know she ain't trying to go there. Be careful, because I'm not trying. Be easy on me. Not be careful, be easy. What I'm trying to say is this. If a person, male or female, if a person went through everything that they went through to keep this thing from you, they were not trying to hurt you. They were doing whatever they were doing for their own purposes. And the truth of the matter is, didn't have much to do with you. It had more to do with them. And when this thing happens, and you find out, or you keep looking and you keep checking texts and you keep checking emails and you checking phone calls and you snooping around, following everybody, you got your investigators out watching, doing all whatever it is that you do to find out. Now you want to say, you couldn't possibly love me if you're with that person. And because I'm in trouble already. I can feel this happening. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. People do whatever people do for whatever their own reasons are. People do what they do. You can always say that people are immature. People, are still acting childish. Then you have this woman, this married woman who's not getting affection or love like she wants to. We didn't get to affection yet. She feels like he doesn't love her anyway, or, he doesn't see her. She's invisible. And so she starts talking a little longer with old boy at the water cooler. And then water cooler becomes lunch. Then lunch becomes dinner. Then we go into the gym, and then we're disappearing together. None of that just happened. All of that is planned. All of those are actions. That's another myth I'm going to add. One thing just led to another. We're going to be careful about saying stuff. It just happened. Nothing just happens. You're feeling vulnerable. You're feeling alone. You're feeling left out, unloved, unwanted, unattractive. And some old Otis come around and say, hey, girl, you sure look good to me today. He ain't got no tooth. He got one tooth, matter of fact. He smell like liquor, but he notices every time you change your hair. He notices every time you change your clothes. And he notices your perfume. Your husband ain't seen a new smell the perfume. He ain't noticed your hair. He's this and that. So I'm being a little funny, but, people go through changes, and then all of a sudden they around here dating old Otis with one tooth. Now they need to feel like they need to feel. So once it all comes down to it, then we have a reason. We have we at least we have a reason. Well, you wasn't looking at me, you wasn't thinking about me, you don't even notice what's my favorite color. And we start going through that, and then we feel like we have some justification for our behavior. And just because you feel like you're not loved does not mean you're not loved. And so we have to go from facts to feelings. That's why I want to start with myth number one: love can hurt. Now, love also heals. Love is a word that remains a mystery. Am I boring y'all? Y'all still here? We doing all right? I'm trying to read your comments. Hold on. The one tooth wonder. Hey, Deborah. Right. Attention. I got you, Cheryl. Yep. I'm right here with you guys. So love is a word that remains a mystery because it is encompassed by a unique set of variables. Each person must evolve. And you're going to hear this a lot in the book. Each person must evolve to define love on his own terms based on his own set of circumstances and experiences. Yet love remains the greatest and most powerful force on earth. Love is actually the cure to the pain that love brings. Love is the cure to the pain that love brings. Let me show you what I mean by that. First of all, let's talk about variables and experiences and circumstances. Everybody's variables are different. And that's why I don't like when people, try to tell you how to love or tell you what love is supposed to feel like or what love is supposed to look like. True love doesn't do this or true love. First of all, you don't know my love situation. You don't speak my love language. My love situation is probably totally different from yours. I ain't mad at Ayanla. She all right with me, but she can't fix my life because she doesn't have all the answers to all the variables. She can help like I can help. Lunchtime Live ain't gonna change your marriage. I can help though, little pieces, little nuggets. But when you find people with dead set black and whites, and this is what love is, and love is not supposed to do this. And even in relationships, Bishop McInnes and I have to counsel people sometime, and sometime I hear, even not even Bishop McInnes and I, people have come to me and said, this is not what love is supposed to feel like. This is not what marriage is supposed to feel like. I didn't get married for this. I'm supposed to have a husband, and having a husband should be this and that. Husbands are supposed to do this. Like it's a rule book somewhere written that defines every detail of our relationships. And certainly it is not. But what I want to say is that everyone's love should be defined by a certain set of principles that do not change. Are you hearing me? So now, if you love a person because of what you see, that's love at first sight. We didn't get to that one yet. But if you love a person because of the way they look or the way their eyes are like a raging fire, their body is they keep their body so well. Time changes those things. Those things change. Even the eyes probably won't change, but they do get older. And facial expressions, mannerisms, emotions, time changes how people respond to circumstances. And I think that we miss that. We still live, some people still live in a time, an older time. I was watching that Versus last night with Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. Are you kidding me? When they started singing those songs from the 70s, I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine. That music brought me right back to a certain time of my life when my mother used to play those songs and someone left the cake out in the rain. This is my age. I'm telling my age. I would hear these songs. My mother would play love songs. in the 70s and in the late 60s, we would hear these love songs. And immediately when I hear those songs, they bring me back to a certain time in my life as a child. And I remember those songs. I know those songs. Now, of course, I'm older now and these songs are like classics. However, the music brought me back to a time. And some of us can't differentiate the different times. You see people walking down the street look like they stuck in a time zone. They refuse to change their clothes. They refuse to change the way they wear their hair. They're stuck in a time that they were happy or they were comfortable and able to function, and they don't they're stuck in black and white TV, and color is all around us. And so some people are stuck in time zones. So when they define love by the time that they were in love. And so they start talking to you about the way love should look, and they're talking about love from the way they see love. This is not the way we are supposed to live. Those are variables. Those songs change. Time change. Now they got songs I can't even repeat, but that's the music of the day. That's what the millennials are loving, and it's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I like that time zone. I saw a post Dana put up. I'm glad that I was born in a time when music was still music. And some millennial would argue with that because they think that the music that they listen to today is music. And so we have to be careful about defining times and telling people what love looks like. I think it was Michael Jackson said, I want to know what love is. Or somebody said, I want you to show me. They understood that love could not be defined or dictated by other people's experiences. You have to take your own love life and examine all the variables. So now, when I talk about love for one another, and loving in a relationship based on principles that do not change, you can love forever if you love based on principles that do not change. And Jesus teaches us the power of true love with a one-word fix for all of life's circumstances. Ready? I'm going to say that again. I'm going to read it again, and I want y'all to stay with me. Y'all still listening? Jesus teaches us the power of true love with a one-word fix for all. Somebody say all. A-L-L. Write it, post it. All of life's circumstances that cause us pain. Jesus teaches us a one-word fix, and that word is forgiveness. Ah, man. Lady Doctor, you getting ready to tell me I got to forgive old Joe? You getting ready to tell me that whole story again about forgiving people? I'm still talking. Love, the fix all for all of the circumstances that cause us pain is forgiveness. The scripture says, here we go. I'm going to put it on the screen. I think I will put it on the screen. Ready? Of all of the things that happened to Jesus and all of the things he could have said on that cross, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Listen to this. This is Jesus' response to everything that had hurt him while he was on earth. Everything from the rejection, the false accusations, the cross, the beatings, the hurt, the murder attempts, when they wanted to kill him, when they turned against him, they plotted against him, they put nails in his hands, his feet. everything that came to hurt him, his first response is, Father, forgive them. Why is he doing this? Now, if you look at the 7 last sayings or the 7 words from the cross, however you want to call it, not one of them mentioned his love for the people. He didn't say, Father, you know I love these people. He didn't say, Father, help me to love these people. None of that. His very actions on the cross said all of that. The fact that he would not come down, the fact that he refused, yes, God, to free himself from a bloody cross is indication that I love these people. Oh my God. Now, some of us are in situations where people are doing things and saying things. It's the way they show their love. And some of us want to hear it. I just need to hear it sometime. You never tell me I love you. Well, baby, if I'm paying the rent and I'm making sure you got food and I'm making sure you got a roof over your head and I'm making sure, yeah, but I still need to hear it. Be careful. Again, I keep saying be careful because we kind of miss the main idea when we start pulling little pieces out. When we start saying, yeah, but you still didn't say it. That's like Jesus never said, I love you on the cross. He didn't get on that cross and say, hello, world. I just want you to know I'm doing this because I love you. He didn't say it. Read it. I looked to make sure we ain't miss a 7, maybe it was 8 words, and he said, I love you. I checked out all 7 of them, and none of them said, I love you. But what happens is that his very actions are showing his love for mankind. But more importantly, he says, there's no sense in me telling them that I love them, but this is what I need to pray about. Father, forgive them. Now, forgiveness is what makes love work. The Bible says that, okay, let me just go back to what I read. There was no need. His very predicament said, I love you. He understood he understood love that is empowered by pure, unadulterated forgiveness, and he taught us that on the cross. Once you learn to forgive, you learn what love is. There are things that have happened to people, and I never want to play it down. I'm guilty of that because I make a lot of jokes. So I'm very careful in my older age not to play down real pain and real circumstances that people are actually going through. I've had circumstances that were so painful, but my release form is laughter. I make light of things so that I do not respond the way my mind is telling me to respond. So I don't want you guys to think that your circumstances are not real enough to be understood. So I'm using Jesus as an example because I don't think anybody on this live, you can tell me if you have suffered as much pain as Jesus Christ from people he loved. Don't worry, I'll wait. I don't think any one of us has suffered like Jesus suffered or a smidgen close to what Jesus suffered in our relationships where we were so bruised and hurt, in our families where we were so bruised and hurt, in our life where we were so bruised and hurt, when our children completely disrespect us and have no regard for all of the pain that we suffered bringing them into the world and then raising them, trying to feed them, trying to make sure they had a life, trying to make sure they had the comforts of life, and they throw their hips in our face and cause us to feel so much pain. A wife who does everything she can do to please her husband walks in and finds him with another woman or another man. A man who has worked day and night, spending countless hours until his fingers are raw, working to feed and supply for his family, only to find that his wife has gotten bored because he's never home and she decided to find herself a little play toy. I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about hurt. A person who served in a church for years, paid their money, their tithes, gave, sacrificed, did everything that they were told, only to be shoved to the back and disregarded, and someone new came and took all the glory or got all the glory. Pain. Some pastor let them down because they had hope and dreams that this pastor would be the epitome of God for them, and they found out that the pastor was whatever. Pain, hurt. Somebody who thought they were special. Can I talk a little bit, guys? Y'all still here? Somebody who thought they were special, only to find out they weren't as special as they thought they were, and they were hurt, and pain happened. With all of that, none of us have suffered the pain that Jesus suffered. And the first words that came out of his mouth were, Father, forgive them. If we cannot forgive the pain of our past, we cannot go forward into a painless future. Jesus says, if you don't forgive, how do you expect me to forgive you? This is the resolve for the pain that came through life. He forgave everybody for everything. I wish I had somebody that would write that down. Forgive everybody for everything. Forgive everybody for everything. He did not delineate which particular violations or abuses he would forgive at the time, but he forgave all. Love that hurts starts with forgiveness. It acknowledges, then ignores the very real or fabricated reasons, even the ones that have no known reason. Real love is not love that doesn't hurt, but love that forgives the hurt away. I'm going to say it again. Real love is not love that doesn't hurt, but love that forgives the hurt away. Now, I know where some of you are all going. Some of you are going right there to the say, well, just because I forgave them, does that mean I have to stay married to them? Just because I forgave them, does that mean they still have to be my friend? Just because, when you start asking questions like that, it's probably because you haven't really forgiven. Because you're not trying to contemplate what comes next. You don't forgive to get something. You don't forgive people to get a circumstance situated. You don't forgive people to determine whether or not you're going to stay married. You don't forgive people to determine whether or not we're going to remain friends. You forgive people because that is the right thing to do. It takes the hurt away. And then the disciples asked Jesus one time, so how many times are we supposed to forgive this person? Every day we supposed to give? Jesus says 70 times 70 every single day. Come on now. He's trying to make a point that forgiveness is an ongoing, lifelong process. Forgiving, the hurt is real. It is real. But how do you get past it? How do you move How can you love again if you still haven't forgiven the person who you feel violated you in the last relationship? How can you ever have a good friend if you can't forgive the good friend you had who violated your trust? How can you ever have a good relationship with one of your other children if you haven't forgiven the child who has hurt you or caused hurt to you? And you notice that I keep saying has hurt you or caused hurt, because sometimes it's not the person that hurt us. We got hurt in the situation. And why am I saying that? This is important to me because I'm trying to be as sensitive as I can. Because we have these expectations of people. We have these expectations and we build up these expectations in our minds. This is what a husband looks like. This is what a wife looks like. This is what I expect in a marriage. This is what I expect in a love relationship. So we build up these expectations. And because they don't meet our expectations, then we get hurt. Did they hurt us? I don't know. Did they deliberately do something to hurt us? Or did we build our expectation to a point where we expected things to go a certain way and it didn't go and we didn't get our way and that hurt us? They didn't hurt us. Perhaps our expectations hurt us. We were not able to adjust. We were not able to adjust properly to the loss or the lack of our expectations. So we handled it badly. Or we kept trying to make it be that. We keep trying to make this person be like the person who we want, that we think we want in our life. We keep comparing persons to persons. Well, what about this person? And what about that person? Or what about their marriage? And what about their relationship? And what about this circumstance? Instead of taking the energy and the time to work out our own love relationships, it has nothing to do with other people. We have to learn to love each other and evolve with each other. And I'm closing on this one because thank you, Chelsea. I wish it was on my screen that I could share your comments, but I can't share them. Kim Summers, I'm going to share her. She said sometimes the expectations are unrealistic. I hope that I'm helping. You're really helping me. Good. I love you, Yolanda. Let me tell you something. It is liberating. It is liberating to truly forgive. And I know we talk a lot about forgiveness. I forgive, but I ain't forget. Whenever you add those things, you can't just forget. Forgiveness doesn't make you forget. Those two are two different words. They're two different categories. Forgiveness is one thing, forgetting is another thing. But we tied them together like they peanut butter and jelly. I forgive, but I don't forget. First of all, to say that is a defense. You don't have to forget. But when you truly forgive, even when you remember, even when you remember the pain, even when you remember the hurt, it doesn't hurt anymore because you have truly forgiven. That's how you know when you have forgiven, because it doesn't hurt anymore. A person walks in the room and you feel some twinge, some funny, some issue, then there's still some unforgiveness in there. And you can't keep justifying it away. You can't say, well, you don't know what they did to me. You don't know what she did to me. You don't know what he did to me. You weren't there. And you believe this and you believe that. You are all on this whole defense about me and what I believe and what other people think. Or what that is not the issue. The issue is, how is this affecting your love walk? How is this affecting your other relationships? Do you know little children are so pure? Little children are so pure that you don't have to say anything to children. They can feel what we feel. You know, when you put a baby on your breast, the baby recognizes your heartbeat from when he was inside of you. Children can feel what we feel. Even if we don't say we don't care for this individual, we don't like this person, the children can feel that. I believe anyway, I don't have a psychological degree. But I believe that children can feel that, because sometimes children respond to you in a way that doesn't make any sense. They're standoffish from you. It's sometimes they feel what the parent is feeling. And I'm not making a theory out of that, because you're like, that child don't like me. That's because her mama been talking about me. Because we go through these extremes. I don't mean extremes like that. I just mean that when we are whole inside, when we are complete inside, and there are no issues inside of us, there are no issues inside of us that cause us to have unforgiveness about other people in our lives, children can feel that too. That's my point. That's where I was trying to go with that. Freedom is contagious, it is felt. And I'm telling you, even if it's an ex husband or wife, even if it's an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, even if it's an ex-best friend, should you try to mend those relationships? Should you try? That's up to you, because sometimes it's just water under the bridge. They can't forgive you. You've forgiven them. You got to move on. But when two people love each other and they have honestly forgiven each other, they can function together. It may be not as a husband and wife, but we've seen it. They become best friends. They become good friends. They become friends that can talk about things that can help each other. They don't get married again or whatever, but they get along because they realize, sometimes they just realize we were just stupid. We were just acting like kids. We should have been smarter than this. We should have been able to handle this. And as we talk further, next week we may go. I don't like to wait a whole week for some of these subjects, but we're going to talk about some other things next week about sustaining love. We're going to talk about sustaining love. We're going to talk about affection and how affection, what role affection plays in love. And hey, Karen, my cousin Karen is on here. I love you, girl. We're going to talk about those things. So we're going to really get into it. Some of you are looking are looking forward to relationships, maybe marriage, maybe you're getting over a divorce, maybe you don't have, your friendship is falling apart. All these things that mean relationships. Some of us are having parent children issues, children parent issues. You just can't forgive your mother. You just can't forgive your father. You just can't forgive your sister. Somebody slept with somebody. You just can't forgive them for that. You just can't forgive infidelity. You can't forgive things. And sometimes we're not even listening to their reasoning. We're like, I don't care what you say, that was wrong. Well, after we get to the point where we realize it was wrong and we both agree that it was wrong, maybe we should hear what the reasons are. And I'm closing with this. There's a young lady who lived in a house. Her husband loved her. Her children loved her. She had a great job. Everything in her life looked promising. And one day she took a gun and blew her head off. Everyone is confused. Why did she do that? Her marriage was so wonderful. They asked the neighbors. They got along fine. They were the perfect family. She loved her children. Her children loved her. Why is she dead? Why did she blow her brains out? She told somebody why. She's been talking the whole time, but somebody was not listening to her. Somebody was listening for cues to things that they wanted to hear and ignored her. Eventually, she just stopped talking about it. The outrage, the outbursts, the crazy was her communicating. But after a while, she wasn't seeing any result, so she stopped talking. That doesn't mean she stopped communicating. She stopped talking. But her actions are now talking. Nobody's listening. Nobody's seeing. Nobody's paying attention. Finally, she did something outrageous and blew her brains out. Now, everyone wishes they could listen again. Everyone wishes that they could hear her voice again. Everyone wishes that they could watch her again and see what triggered it, what caused the problem. But it is too late. She's already dead. Why am I bringing up this tragic story? Because I want us to make sure that we are listening to each other, that we are hearing and not making judgments and not conclusions of what people are really saying. Listen to each other. Watch the body language. Watch the movements. You know, you do it for your kids. Your kids start acting strange every day. They come in, hey, Mom, how you doing? Da, 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 da. All of a sudden, they go straight in the room. You notice. They didn't say anything, but you notice. And so we're going to start paying attention to each other. And our relationships are going to get better because listening does not mean waiting to talk. I'm guilty of it. I hold my mouth open, ready to say something. I'm not listening to the person that's talking. And then when things go crazy and we sitting up at the divorce court or we sitting up in the hospital or we at the funeral, at the gravesite, now we want to hear. It's hard to forgive what you can't even hear. It's hard to forgive what you won't even listen to. Let's start listening to one another. If you have a relationship, a friendship that was good for years and years and years, understand that people grow up. We all do. We grow up. The girl I was when I was 15, I ain't that girl no more. When I was 25, I ain't that girl no more. When I was 40, I ain't that lady no more. I'm 57. I'm somebody else. I have different responses to different emotions based on stuff I learned as I grew. Why hold people accountable for when they were 20? They're 35 now, they're 40 now, and you're still holding against them something that came out of their mouth when they were 17. Let's listen to people. Give them a chance to talk again. Have another conversation. You don't have to go back into the old stuff. Start the relationship over. If that was your friend, that was your friend. And you love her or him. That's your friend. Why would we let one big major event that happened last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, ruin what could work essentially for us in the future? So I'm not saying go fix every broken relationship. Go find everybody and forgive them. You can forgive people from right where you are. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for everyone that's listening. First of all, I want to say that if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, He's available to you. And His first cry on the cross was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They don't know me. They don't know my heart. They don't know my intention. They don't know what they're doing. And I want you to forgive them. And so people speak out of emotion and pain and hurt. They don't know what you really meant. They don't know a lot of things. Some people just don't know. And so you can't slap a deaf boy because he can't hear you. You got to forgive. Father, I thank you for every person that's watching today. I thank you for those who have been hurt, who are suffering, and find it very difficult to forgive. Father, I thank you for showing us how you have forgiven us, how you were hurt and bruised and battered, but you forgave mankind. Teach us to be more like you. I thank you for teaching me how to love again and teaching me how to forgive and to become free. I thank you for blessing me today. In Jesus' name, amen. Those of you who don't know Jesus Christ, Romans 10:9 says, if you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth, or confess with your mouth and believe in your heart the Lord Jesus, that Christ raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. That happens for you right now. Let's start life again with forgiveness. Those of you who want to sow a seed into Healing Truth Women's Ministry, I no longer have Cash App. I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. They closed all of my Cash Apps, but I'm going to ask you to sow a seed to Zelle. You can use my email address, which I am putting on the screen right now. Maybe Sister Wanza can help with my email address for Zelle. Or you can, if you know my cell phone number and you can send an Apple Pay gift, you can do that. I'll manage to get that into Healing Truth Women's Ministry because anything you sow to Healing Truth Women's Ministry is a blessing. We have some great news for those who are members of Healing Truth. I know I'm a little bit long today. I'm real past my time, but this was a real sensitive subject, and I wanted to make sure that everyone was blessed. I want to remind you that you can join the Healing Truth Women's Ministry group. It's a no-nonsense group of women healing women, one post at a time. I want you to join the Healing Truth Women's Ministry group, and I want you to also join me on my YouTube channel. I'm putting it all there. IG, Lady McInnes, everything. You can find me everywhere. And those of you that are sewing, I'm asking you to please sew to a PayPal. Okay, PayPal is my email address, which I'm putting it up there. Cynthia McInnes at AOL.com. You can use that for PayPal or for Zelle. If you know my cell phone number, I am certainly not putting that out here. But if you know my cell phone number, you can use Apple Pay. However you want to be a blessing. Now, everyone who is a blessing, you get the free book, L.A.W of Love. And today, we only covered one day, one page. And so I will repeat the topics, the myths. Love doesn't hurt. Love at first sight. People are made for each other. Love, there's no love without romance. Soulmates. Wholeness is a one-shot deal. And affection can be defined. All of those are subjects covered in the book. As you can see, I'm writing it. I am writing it, and it is going to be available to you because you sowed a seed today. Any seed, any amount. As usual, of course, if you do not have any money, and you cannot sow anything and you want the book, just send me an email to Evangel McInnes. Actually, you can send the email to Healing Truth. I'm going to put it there. Healing Truth 900 at gmail.com. I'm going to just put it up here. If you don't have any money and you want to get the book for free, and you are watching today. Now, if this is a replay, this is not for you. You got to pay $7 for the book. But if you want the book for free and you want to be a blessing, you want to sow a seed, do that. If you don't have any seed, just send me an email at healingtruth900 at gmail.com. And everyone who sows a seed today, send me an email at healingtruth900 at gmail today, and I will send you the book. I usually announce the book on Monday, and you have it in your email by Friday. So the book is The Law of Love, and the first law is forgiveness, and we talked about that today. It's just going to be phenomenal. Remember, the Healing Truth starts on Wednesday, October the 7th. October 7th at 9 p.m. Those of you who go to bed early, I'm sorry. I can't do it any earlier. 9 p.m. on Wednesday. So get your dinner cooked, serve everybody, put the dishes away, and be on the Healing Truth on Wednesday, October 7th. Remember, it's October 7th at 9 p.m. Until then, we'll be back here every Monday at 1 o'clock until October 5th. We will cover the next myth. The next myth is going to be love at first sight, and we're going to make posts about that so you can stay with me. All right. I hope you were blessed today. I'm glad that you are all here with me today. I love you all, and ministry is my life. Writing is my anointing. And so if you're not prone to read, I can't help you. But if you want that book, it's yours. Send me an email to healingtruth900 at gmail.com. Tell me you sowed your seed and how you sowed it, whether it was Zelle or PayPal or Apple Pay. Zelle, PayPal, Apple Pay. That might be the only ways that I know right now. And they all are connected to my AOL email address. So again, sow your seed, be a blessing, and I'll see you again next Monday. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.